Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to assemble your puzzle cube. This time I'm going to use joints instead of constraints. So if you don't like this method, don't worry about it. You don't have to use this method. I'm still kind of new to this and I have to click around to make it work correctly. And so I'm just going to show you a little bit of the fiddling around that I've done, and I'm going to let you guys run with it and figure it out on your own, okay? Whatever you do, you need to know how to assemble your puzzle cube one way or the other. So either joints or constraints, go watch one of the videos, figure out one of the ways that works for you, okay? So here's where we left off last time with the last video. I had the blue and the red pieces constrained together. Remember, the red one is grounded. It's got that little thumbtack looking thing, which means it's not moving at all, okay? The other stuff can move around, except for the blue one, which I've now locked to it, right? Now, if you ever screw something up and you're like, oh man, I didn't mean to constrain those two parts together in the way that they are, maybe you've got it backwards or upside down or whatever, understand that you can come over here to the browser, you can find the part that's been constrained, and you can hit this little button, the plus sign, and expand this menu here. And that shows you the constraints that you added to it. Here's my mates and my two flushes, okay? And if you ever want to get rid of one, and in this case I'm going to get rid of all three and use joints instead, okay? You just right click and you choose delete. Now it's free to move that way, right? I take this this mate, for instance, and I delete it, and now all of a sudden I can pull away from that surface. Does that make sense? So I'm going to delete all of these in this case, and I'm just going to show you joints instead of mate flush, okay? All right, so here's what I've learned is whenever you go to joints and you click on this, it gives you a bunch of different types of joints. So you can do things like hinges and sliders and cylindrical constraints and things like that. The ball joint is pretty darn cool. Well, I'm just going to stick with automatic for now, and we're going to see what happens, okay? Hopefully this works out for us. I'm going to pick two surfaces that I need to go together, okay? So for instance, this edge here is one way I can do it, or I could take this. Let's try this. Ready? I'm going to take this here. No, I don't want to do that. It looks like I have to start with the piece that's not grounded. So I'm going to come over here, and I know that I want the middle of this piece. Let's make sure that I actually hit that, okay? The middle of this needs to correspond to, whoa, now I've really messed things up. I'm glad you're seeing this though. You're getting the chance to see how you can move around with the box and stuff. Okay, now the bottom middle of that blue piece needs to sit on the top middle of this, so I just click here. Okay, and it puts it in place. Now that's not the way I need to be arranged. You can see that that's obviously not going to happen, right? So I can go through and I can do then a second alignment here. And I can click on Align then, and I can say, for instance, on this, that I need this surface here. So see how it's outlined in red, okay? That surface here needs to be aligned with the surface on the front of this, okay? But it needs to be the other way. I don't like this. So I can go here. I know that my H needs to be backwards, so I can click here and switch the direction of the alignment. And whenever I click, check, it's constrained. That thing is not moving at all. So again, the point of joints is it's a little bit easier in the fact that it's less clicking, and it kind of it makes things a little bit smoother. It allows you some more flexibility in things like hinges and ball joints and things like that, which are really cool and kind of advanced. But again, it's still kind of new enough to me that I have to figure things out by clicking around. Again, let me show you one more, okay? Joint constraint. This blue piece lies on the top of the red piece because I've assembled it before. And I know that, for instance, the bottom of this right there, the bottom middle of this, I click on it, needs to lie on top of the middle of the other side of the red thing here, right there. And I click on this and it kind of puts it together. Now obviously that's not the correct alignment because it can't cut through the middle. I have some options. Now look, if I click here, it goes opposite, like upside down, okay? So that's one of the options that we have. You can try clicking around with that, but I found it easier to work with the alignment tool, and I can say, all right, here's what I know I need to align. This thing needs to align in this side. It needs to align with the red square here on the outside, but that's backwards there. I flipped it around, right? And I click OK. And I'm done. The blue piece is now locked in, and it's exactly where I need it to be. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll like this, maybe you won't. The whole goal is just to play around with it, figure out if you like it, try it out a few times, and some of you guys are really going to run with this, and some of you guys will stick with constraints. Whatever you use, as long as you get the puzzle cube and nothing can move after it's all said and done, you're good.